Detroit Lions training camp, we were talking a lot about Terry and Arnold, this secondary, man.
Yeah.
And Emmanuel Mosley, he got off to a hot start, in my opinion. For what I was expecting, it was like nothing to, hey, you're hearing this name come up in a lot of good news to the point that they're saying, yo, they're running him out there with the ones as well.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, this is cool. Even if he doesn't start, our secondary is going to have a guy, and we talked about it, who can play on the field as well as give you the intrinsic values off the field. Now he's injured, and the question is this. Do you do anything to replace what he was supposed to bring?
That's an interesting one, and I actually saw the heavyweights bring that up last night. And it's, as much as we don't like Emmanuel Mosley getting hurt, and we still don't, obviously, I'm glad that instead of just getting to react to it in real time, I had a night to think about it and really formulate a more well-thought-out response. And this is going to sound bad, but you guys will understand because I'm just looking at it from the football perspective.
Yeah.
If you're going to lose one, that would be the one that you can stomach losing, because even throughout after the draft and what they did with Terrion Arnold and Rakestraw and getting a guy like a Meek and all of that, we weren't even really thinking about Emmanuel Mosley as part of the plans for this season.
You never really had him.
When we heard that he was going to be, that he was even like getting some reps at nickel and that he was healthy, we were like, oh my goodness.
Pleasantly surprised.
If we get Emmanuel Mosley back and he's actually playing and he can maybe get some reps at CB2 if needed or nickel if needed, that's amazing.
It was sprinkles on top.
Yes. But then, of course, we know what happened yesterday, going down with a torn pec. Here's my thoughts. With Emmanuel Mosley going down, and Justin, I know you love this. I think it does open up an opportunity for Ennis Rakestraw to get more playing time. However, Nightmare on Rake Street.
Look at his face.
Nightmare on Rake Street. Let's go.
That one's it.
However, and I hit it at this yesterday. Then you start looking at maybe relying too much on a secondary rookie parlay for a team that's smack dab in the middle of their Super Bowl window. Because as of right now, Terrion Arnold is listed as the starting CB2, and Ennis Rakestraw, he is currently listed as a backup corner, but he's somebody who can play outside, inside. He did it in Missouri. So here's my thoughts on this, because I had to be fair. When you're talking about cornerbacks in the past 5 drafts who were drafted in the first round from pick 20 till the end of the first round.
Yeah.
And I believe that Terrion Arnold is a special rookie and he was underdrafted, and because it's Brad Holmes, the likelihood of him succeeding is higher than usual.
Yeah.
There were 9 of them. 6 of them were starters year one, and I would say 3 of them had successful rookie seasons. One of them being Trent McDuffie, which, if Terrion Arnold can be Trent McDuffie, although they're different players, that would be amazing. And Trent McDuffie, you know what else he's done? Contribute heavily in 2 Super Bowl wins. Terrion Arnold, It's not outside the realm of possibility. But the point with that is about a third of them had what I would call good rookie seasons, and another third of them had rookie seasons where they started, but they struggled quite a bit. And then when you look at second-round corners, the track record from the past 5 drafts is actually a lot better than you would think. And this is going to Ennis Rakestraw, because you look at some of these guys, you're looking at Rock Yassid, you're looking at Byron Murphy, Sean Murphy Bunting, Jalen Johnson, who wasn't great as a rookie, but we all know what he's turned into, Trayvon Diggs, Tyson Campbell, Asante Samuel Jr., Kyler Gordon, Cam Taylor-Britt, Joey Porter Jr., Tyreek Stevenson. All guys, honestly, that if that's what Ennis Rakestraw would become, you would feel pretty okay about that, at least for this season, because most of, if not all of these guys contributed in their rookie seasons. However, the likelihood that both of them don't have a lot of growing pains is, I would say, a little bit lower than you would like, and the likelihood that Carlton Davis plays all 17 games is also pretty low, given the fact that he's missed 16 combined in the last 3 years. So with all that being said, and with Emmanuel Mosley being out, I think if you're the Lions, you should at least consider bringing in 2 guys, if you can get them on the cheap. 1, Akello Witherspoon, and 2, Stephon Gilmore.
I love it.
Those were guys who, Stephon Gilmore, he's going to be wearing a gold jacket in Canton someday.
Hey,
he's had 5 Pro Bowls, 2 All-Pros, was a Defensive Player of the Year, was one of the best defensive players on a Super Bowl team. But even what he did last season, he's not what he was in his prime, but he was still pretty damn good on a playoff Cowboy team. and he brings that Super Bowl experience. And I'll tell you what, I know we talk about Dan Campbell guys and who is and who isn't. If you can play for Bill Belichick, you can play for the Lions. If you can play for a Super Bowl winning Patriot team, you can play for the Lions. And same with Ahkello Witherspoon. Obviously was never the player that Stephon Gilmore was.
Mm-hmm.
But last season, you could argue he had a better individual season than Stephon Gilmore. He's a little bit younger, and one of his stops during his professional career was the 2019 49ers, where he started a lot of games on a Kyle Shanahan team that made the Super Bowl. So I think to potentially offset some of the growing pains for the rookies and give them a little bit of veteran protection, and also Carlton Davis might miss a couple of games. I think at least with these two, this is something you should consider. You shouldn't sign somebody willy-nilly, which we all know Brad Holmes will not do.
He's not going to do
but
that.
Ahkello Witherspoon and Stephon Gilmore, I think you should at least consider it if you can get them on the cheap.
Yeah, and Stephon Gilmore, he's been the popular one amongst Detroit Lions fans, especially with his brother being here.
Yes.
And right now, if you were going to bring him in, it seems like it's a perfect opportunity to. KG, what up, though, brother?
No, I love the point Sam made about Carlton Davis. I don't know if they need to add 2 corners, but I would definitely be looking to add at least one with the E-Man injury. I think Stephon Gilmore is like a perfect fit for this roster, for the type of team we have. The experience that he has, it'll only benefit the younger guys here, but I always thought that they would do the slot nickel position more as a rotational thing anyway, because you have an Amik Robertson, you do have Rakestraw. So, I mean, yes, Rakestraw should get more playing time at this position. I think he'll be great in the slot. He'll be great at the nickel. He's a very physical corner, which you kind of got to work with him on because he could occur some flags, during the year. But it's like he said, rookie growing pains. He has to go through this. But impressed man, I would have absolute confidence that he can hold down that role throughout the season, and he's going to get playing time anyway. Like he said, if Carlton Davis goes down, you got to give him playing time regardless. Why not just throw him out there, see the type of work that he can do, get him some early reps early in the season. He's already been making great plays in training camp, so I'm not necessarily mad at it. I think he's tailor-made to kind of step into that E-Man role.
Yeah, and you know what? And I see people in here too. There's a couple who they want the Lions to go all in on Matthew Judon.
Love that too.
Should the Lions be more in a position, since they know that they can probably absorb the Emmanuel Mosley injury, to just say, you know what, let's keep our flexibility all the way until the trade deadline, or if they feel like that there's something else they want to kick the tires on now, or do they go and say, you know what, let's solidify what the roster is supposed to be as early in training camp as we can?
Well, with Matthew Judon, you obviously you'd probably have to give him an extension. But I think somebody
you don't have to.
You don't. You don't.
He could be a rental.
That is fair. He could be a rental. He'd be a pretty expensive rental. But with a guy like him, it might hurt the financial flexibility either in the short term or long term or both. But he's the type of guy that if you put him opposite Aiden Hutchinson, I know some people still aren't sold on the combination of Marcus Davenport and James Houston. I don't blame you. I don't think anybody would be not sold on Matthew Judon and Aiden Hutchinson. With Stephon Gilmore and Ahkello Witherspoon, because I saw somebody in the chat that I sorry, I can't attribute it to you because I lost it, but said that Stephon Gilmore was worth like $8 million a year. I think that
Xavier
D, thank you. I think that it is. I wonder if this experience of him still not being signed or picked up has humbled him a little bit and just wants another crack at being on a Super Bowl team because he has won a Super Bowl as one of the Patriots' best players. I'm not saying get Stephon Gilmore for $8 million. I'm saying if you can get him for cheap, if you can get him on a bargain, I would definitely look into that. And I don't think Ahkello Witherspoon is going to be that highly paid of a player. I think you could get him on the cheap as well. So with guys like Gilmore and Ahkello Witherspoon, I don't even think you would be sacrificing your flexibility. Although with Matthew Judon, you would, but potentially to get a star.